Welcome to. Oh, I'm all green. I shall hang on. It's all right having all this technology, but I need to do this. I need to do that, and there we are, back to normal. Welcome, Livingroom. You woke up. I hope you enjoyed the music. Did you hear the music? Can you hear me clearly? This is the question. Leave a comment in the comments section if you can hear me clearly. This is my whether I'm loud enough, whether you can hear me at all. It says my microphone is working. I can hear myself through the headphones, but I have no idea whether you were able to hear the music, whether you're able to hear me, because it's all very new. I'm just going to have the old liquid courage. There we are. Liquid courage. Voice isn't clear. Oh, hang on. Voice is not clear. How about that? Is that better? Can you hear me now, Mother? I've turned the gain up a little bit. I'm in between a sheet of water. But tell me what I'm going to do. I'm going to go open myself on YouTube, as it were, live. I can't hear anything. Or an alien. That's odd. Hang on, if I go that way. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. This is rather strange. Hang on. I think it's probably going through too many things. If I go to this, hang on. I've got that many things open. Let's go here and change my audio to this. Okay, does that make any difference, I wonder? Hang on. Now, I can't hear myself. I have to go here. Wait a minute. Sorry about this. Not quite sure what's going on there. No, this is not working very well, is it? Terribly sorry about this. There was no way to check it before it happened, as it were. You're not really awake. Jolly good, but I mean, it's rather disappointing. It sounds fantastic through my headphones. I'm not entirely sure what is not going correctly. It's possibly going through too many things. I need to check. what I'm sounding like on YouTube. Sounds terrible. Hmm. Oh dear. Um, I may try and plug in my USB microphone and see if that makes a difference. Hang on. Testing, testing. Right, I can't hear myself through that. That's all. So I don't know. No, all it's doing is picking my voice up from the other microphone. This is embarrassing. Right, go back to this one. I'm not entirely sure why it's doing this. Now, hang on. Audio input. Uh, no, no idea what's the matter there. That's any better? I have to go back here and monitor on the show. Hi, Perk. I'm clipping, probably. My gain is maybe too high, I'm not sure. Well, I have to speak before I can hear anything, obviously. That doesn't seem to be having any effect. Sounds fantastic through my earphones. Yes, I know, alien sound. Not quite sure what's going on there. What I might try and do. On one day is try it straight through. It's possibly my. It sounds fantastic through when I use the microphone on its own and not through anything to do with YouTube. Audio. Hmm. That's strange. No, I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I'm terribly sorry about all this. Spent 300 euros on this. Now, is that any better? No, I can't hear the door. I have to go here. I can hear myself. I can't hear the show. I can't monitor the show. In the streaming settings for audio, just the choice of microphone. Ah, unplug and replug. That could be it. It could be the yeah. I'll try that. Robert, hang on. Bear with me. Sorry, everybody. Which cable is it? There's that many bloody cables. Now, I still can't hear anything. Hang on. Can I still hear stuff? Yes. Now I go back here and check whether that worked or whether I'm still sounding like a robot. Oh, it worked, Robert. Thank you very much. Jolly good. Thank you, Robert. Saved my life. I better turn the gain down a little bit. Well, welcome to Simon NoChaNoMa and technical disasters. Yes. The only trouble is I can't monitor myself. That little oh my fucking god. Sorry, you said it, I didn't. Welcome to Simon NoChaNoMa, one and all, and apologies to my sensitive friends who are wondering what on earth is going on. What is going on is that I've got a sort of the dogs doodahs of my. I've lost somebody. I'm terribly sorry. I scared you away with with my expletives and technical ignorance. I have bought this. It's I see that in podcasts like Radri's podcast and everything. They've got one of these bendy microphone arm jobbies, and I bought myself a pop filter so that I don't sound like a robot. Can't see what those hands are doing most of the time. They're holding a glass of wine and fiddling with keyboards and knobs. And you assumed I would do what? Figure it out. Yes. So I bought all this fancy equipment, and now it works thanks to Robert. Just technically, plug it out and plug it in again. But yes, I've got the microphone. It's very sensitive. You may be able to hear at certain points trains, even more so than the previous mic, trains and cars going past. I've been trying to do some tests for audio voiceover recording, which consisted of me making a tent on my bed out of sofa cushions, because this is so sensitive that the noise in this room was just unbelievable. So yes, I bought this and this rather fancy looking thing, which is a shock mount, so that if I bump into the microphone stupidly, it's basically just to preserve the expensive bit inside the microphone there, and this is meant to stop me spitting into the microphone and bursting your eardrums with Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pepper and such things. It's high-tech maintenance, yes, but I'm relieved that it's been sorted. Does it now sound silky smooth and creamy? And that is the question. I mean, I got all this from presents, really, gift vouchers from my sons and money from my parents for birthday and Christmas, and I saved it all up, did a lot of research, and then went and spent it all. You miss my pa 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 pa. If I move this, pa 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 pa. There we go. This is what is to stop that happening. I've just sprayed my microphone with droplets of wine, which is probably not good. It sounds good. Great. Super. Um, I've got a blanket above my head. I've got a carpet on the floor, and I've got my duvet positioned on the wall, on the cupboard here, just to try and absorb as much. I was doing research on basically to do voiceovers. You need to almost isolate everything around the microphone because it's quite sensitive, and it was a lot of DIY work is possibly going to be involved. Yes, that's 544. You want your subwoofer. Get some bass traps. Yeah. Mm. So I've now got all this gear, and I've been fiddling around with it, and I can do lovely things with it with the software, the recording software. I can cut out all the background noise. Unfortunately, that doesn't work whilst you're doing the input side of it, but it does work when you're then using the raw material and recording it. And I could cut out all the traffic noise, all the ambient noise, and I sounded like I was on the radio. Yes, I've got no control on the speaker on the headphones themselves. For there's just a dial here to switch between input and what's coming out from the computer. Excuse me. So yes, I'm taking steps. Acoustic treatment costs an arm and a leg. Yes, I mean, and I would have to buy. Well, I could borrow drills and stuff and electric screwdrivers from work, but for proper acoustic treatment, you need not just rock wool, which but you also need drywall, what the Americans called it, which is plasterboard, and 2x4 timber, and goodness knows what, and yeah, all kinds of stuff. And I would have to basically build a mini box big enough for my computer and microphone and whatnot. And I may get round to that, or I may just build a tent on my bed again. It depends. But yes, yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not. I didn't mean actually putting anything on the walls. I can't even pin or put in hooks on the walls. I thought maybe of making kind of like acoustic baffles, just to sort of deaden the sound of the room. But that means drilling into the walls, which I can't do in this apartment. So it's going to be possibly kind of like a box. Just to I'm going to put my head in a box and talk to people. But yes, for those of you who joined later, I apologise for the beginning of the show where it was all just static and weird connections with the computer. Egg cases, cases for eggs. Yeah, that's a myth apparently. Carpets would have been best, and I hardly ever eat eggs at all, so be a bit stuck. So who else is here? Who we've got? We've got Perk. We've got Vids of your mom. We've got Robert, and somebody else. Hello, it's possibly Ellen. Hello, Ellen, if you're there. But yes, I have been considering doing a live stream from outside because I was watching Tokyo Drew this morning, wandering around a rather deserted Tokyo. And I thought, it'd be really nice to do a live stream, but can't do that and schedule it. That's the problem. But yeah, speaking of deserted Tokyo, I've been in touch with my friend from Nihonbashi, and she's been advised they have to work from home as of yesterday, they were advised to work from home, and people are avoiding rush hour and all kinds of stuff. So and the one of the major stores in Nihonbashi is closing. Yes, it's quite dramatic, really, what's happening there. I mean, obviously, it's made its way to Europe as well. There's been a first confirmed case in Holland. There's a confirmed case here in Belgium, but that was a Belgian Chinese who'd been to visit relatives over there in the actual major area. And they've been in quarantine since they got back. So there's been nothing since then. But obviously in Italy, the villages are closed down. Yes, I think. Did I? No, I never took my drums back to my parents. I don't think. Yes, I did. Did I? Can't remember. Did I take them? Yes, I must have done. Yes, I did, because we were living in a house that had a big enough cellar to put them in, and I did put them down there. And my friend from my hometown, he brought his guitar, and we practiced in the cellar. But that didn't last long, because that was only like a few months after I'd got back from college. Yes, trying to stop the spread of the common cold. I was watching Only in Japan Go, and he was saying sort of he was staying the recommended 5 meters away from everybody else. You might as well not go out, or go out in Belgium on a Saturday afternoon, and you're not likely to bump into that many people. Yeah, there are conflicting reports. The information is, I would play safe, basically. I mean, it's better safe than sorry. But what I'm doing now I've got this all up, and I mean it's I have to explain that this Saturday I was hoping to get our good friend, her, Robert, Legit Outlaw Jess, to be the guest, but she should have her internet and everything all set up by Monday, apparently now, not this weekend. She was thought perhaps this weekend, but having just moved into the house in Zushi, and she said it's a bit of a mess, and she's still got to contact the internet company and this, that, and the other. So hopefully she will be joining next Saturday. I have to look through my bits of paper to see then she's not clashing with anybody else that I've booked, but I don't think I've got anybody until the 21st of March, when it's the shamisen players from Berlin again. But I've also been in touch with her, Robert, Bernie from Singapore. So she might be joining at some point this month as well. You've got some cases in Spain. Yeah, I think, yes, I heard about that on the radio. Yeah, and then obviously in the UK as well. Right, I'm going to transfer you to here if it works. Do I appear? Yes. Apologise. All greenery unless I go here. Hang on. Go here, and I knock off my green screen. There we are. You'll just see the reality hits, but that means that all green now. And I'll start this going. Just as a background distraction, I found a slideshow. It's a slideshow. You want to see my pictures of an heavily edited slideshow of my trips to Japan, which I thought might be fun just to have going in the background. If I can get it going. Playlist. Start. Okay. So, yes. There we are. the inaugural flight from Brussels to Narita, the first direct flight, and that's the chap in the blue tie. He's the director of ANA, and there's Miss Japan, who I'm in a photograph with later. There we go. If you turn your heads, there I am. On the rare occasion, I actually wear my shirt outside my trousers. But yes, so that's the reason there's no guests today, because she has no internet. So it's just me again, rambling on. And as I said in the advert, the viewers can't get a word in edgeways hardly. It's Miss Nippon, I should say. It's not Miss Japan. It's not Miss Japan. There's actually a Miss Nippon and a Miss Japan. Miss Nippon is slightly less well known, and they choose them for looking the most sort of regular Japanese as opposed to sort of the most glamorous. Smart casual, yes. I tend to prefer a belt, actually. That sounds dirty. I'm sorry. And there we are. Well, it's moving swiftly on. Here we have Sensoji in 2015. I was actually visiting there with a legit Outlaw Jess. So as crowded as usual, as it always is during the middle of the day. And that's the restaurant sort of not far from Sensoji Temple, where I met up with my shamisen friends. They often play there. The owner is a top shamisen player, and they sometimes give performances there for the guests. Hi, Ty. I don't think I've got a photo of the interior, but the interior is kind of very traditional Japanese. And there's Shibuya, rather fuzzy picture of Shibuya. And the Forever 21 building, apparently that's Forever 21 is shutting up shop in Shibuya, which would be an iconic building disappearing there. Another iconic building will appear later in this slideshow, which has subsequently disappeared. But yes, I've got a couple of weeks left to tidy up. Speaking, I'm just looking around at this rather chaotic room here. My parents are coming to visit from their annual spring visit, so I'm going to have my annual spring clean and make things presentable. Ah, yes, that's in Shibuya as well. That's at the Cerulean Tower Hotel when I met up with my actress friend. Speaking of her, anybody ever heard of Kamen Rider? It's sort of like a Japanese action show, a bit like Power Rangers. It's sort of the granddaddy of Power Rangers, featuring like a guy in a suit with an insect head. Very odd. But anyway, she was in that for the first 10 or 15 episodes, just as a small character when she was still in her late teens. And I've been watching the old episodes. She was in Shogun, yes. She when she was about 28 or something like that, she got the part of Mariko in Shogun, and made her world famous at that time. And there we are, standard Shinkansen. Stops by the gate, doors open, get in, find your reserved seat. I watched How Did I Meet Ninjaru? Hi Ninjaru. I watched Shogun again on DVD, and that was allowed me to see sort of the names in the titles of who the people were, the actress, and one particular scene towards the end of the series. Hello. That made me cry, so I wanted to get in touch. Oh, it's Frederick. Wanted to get in touch and thank her, and I didn't know whether she was still active as an actress. But then discovered her on Twitter, and so I started a Twitter account and contacted her that way, direct message, and she responded, and the ball went rolling from there. And then she said, "Oh, if you come to Japan, I'll take you to dinner." So that was that. I'm going to Japan, I said. So yeah, it does work. Meeting people online, that kind of thing. Oh, this is in Shizuoka at a Halloween party. I went to visit the Mullies. I think you can just see. Hang on, if I go back, I can't. Can I go back? But no, but you just saw Mrs. Mully with Jim's hat on, just in the left of the photograph there. And this is Mrs. Mully on the Horaibashi Bridge, which is the longest wooden footbridge in Japan, which happens to be in Shizuoka, and was built to connect samurai residences with the town. I mean, the river's that low you could practically sort of walk across and with barely getting your feet wet. It was at that time of the year. And here's good old Tomoko des. First time I met her, and we were at Nagoya Castle, which is worth a visit, especially the sort of the restored hall. But now it's like queues and queues and queues of people. Plastic food, or it could be even wax food. But this is the standard Japanese. Show you what products they've got. Looks super realistic. Everybody who's been there has to have a photograph of this. I can't remember where this was. Possibly in Nagoya, I think, because the next photo is also from Nagoya. Yes, it's Nagoya. It's an izakaya in Ozcanon, and I went with Mikey Chen and her husband and Ed Tomorrow, and we all had. I got slightly drunk because they kept pouring that sake into that sake cup until it overflowed. It was quite strong. Yeah, and also in Nagoya, there's a nightclub there that the actress goes to, and she'd said, "Well, if you're in Nagoya, come to the nightclub." So I did, and brought along sort of Give Me a Flake Man and Tomoko des and Mikey Chen and Ed Tomorrow. They all came with me. Had a fun time. Oh, train going past. Did you hear that? Did it pick it up? I'm just looking at the window. The window is covered in drops of rain and it's windy outside. I'm glad I'm in here. COSY. Ego kochi no something. I've forgotten the name. It's one of these Japanese terms I looked up. Somebody's dropped off. That could have been vis-a-vis mom. He could have fallen asleep. And that's a view from my hotel in Nagoya, looking out on a lovely clear blue sky and a sunny morning. Almost everywhere in Tokyo looks like that, and only sort of the central part of Nagoya looks like that. Give you an idea of scale. I think I've got my breakfast from Family Mart downstairs every morning. That's typical landscape as you're going on the Tokaido Shinkansen line around the coast. I was heading off to Yamaguchi, I think, there. Just wooded hills down to rice fields all the way. Yeah, I've got the gain set at what I had it set for doing some recording. And that's my friend in Yamaguchi. The reason I went to Japan, besides the actress, and as far as Yamaguchi. Her hair is a bit shorter now. And that's me in my yukata at an onsen hotel. I think, yes, that's the Japanese breakfast I got at the an interesting breakfast. No cereals, no toast and marmalade, no coffee, just rice and vegetables and fish, and green tea. This trip one, this is, I think this is still 2015. This one, 2016. No, or is it 2016? No, it's 2015. This one still. I went 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. Then decided I was running out of money and didn't go in 2019. No coffee. No. Coffee is big in Japan. It's very big. But you don't get it with traditional Japanese breakfast, which was served by this lady. And that's my friend. We went to, I can't remember the name of the temple, a Zen temple in not far from where she lives, and walked around the gardens there. I played the drums on the stove. Who are you talking to? Me? Did I play the drums on the stove? I don't remember. And then it's in one of the buildings in the Zen temple. I decided to take a selfie with us. That she now has a third grandchild. So her time is spent working and looking and babysitting, basically. That's what she does. Working and babysitting for her daughter. There's my... no, that was my second... second octopus ball experience. Takoyaki. I had 12. I thought, oh, they're quite small. I can manage 12. I love picture time. You're back. Okay. And I think this was me leaving Yamaguchi at Shin Yamaguchi. Anything with station with Shin in it means that you can get Shinkansen from it. So I got the Shinkansen. That's an N500, I think, as opposed to the N700. All very shiny and efficient and quiet. And that's a view from sort of the Seto Inland Sea, possibly near Hiroshima, on the way back. Rather nice with the sun rays coming through the clouds, rising sun rays, and the lovely industrial coast of Western Japan. And this was my hostel in yes, this is still 2015. This is the hostel I stayed at in Shibuya. And the first time I ever got a bus in Japan was from the station, Shibuya station, to this hostel. And Google is your friend, and Google Translate is your friend. And I got there all right. It's rather nice. It's just it looks quite rural, but it's tucked down an ordinary looking street that doesn't have this much greenery in it normally, and that's the room with the tatamis and the little tokonoma and the futon. Wasn't too expensive. It's quite nice. I could recommend it. I'm curious now. Now that the oh, those are my shamisen player friends. Again, I just randomly contacted them on Facebook and said, "I'm coming to Japan. Can we meet up?" And they said yes. So I did. They appear. The Norm, who was on the show nearly 2 years ago now, the shamisen player Norm Nakamura, Tokyo Lens. He's their sort of good friend. They appear often on his channel. And after meeting up with him, we all went for dinner. And the gentleman behind me is another shamisen player and a sort of businessman who's a friend of theirs as well. And I'm friends with him. And he took us for dinner at a Chinese restaurant in Ueno, which was nice. I like this. This is a tree in Ueno Park, at a temple in Ueno Park that's been carefully manicured to form this circular viewpoint, as it were. It looks down. It's quite cool. Can't remember the name of the temple, but there it is. You can see the tree that's been manicured there. Ueno Park is quite big. It's got not only the sort of the zoo in it, it's got a regular park and then a temple, and it's got another side. It's got the a whole bunch of museums, and then Amiyokucho nearby. This was neat. This is just a little side alley, tiny restaurant, and it has this little water feature just on the entrance to the restaurant. Tiny little water feature, little bit of bamboo, very, very nicely done. Little details like that I enjoyed walking around the streets looking at these things. Oh, another train. Now, that's Shinjuku. Yes, because that's building in the middle underneath. That's Don Quixote. And just to the left of that, down there, is Golden Guy. I'd not long come out of Shinjuku Station and decided to take a photograph of that. I was meeting a first person I subscribed to on YouTube. I was meeting up with him, a Mexican guy who lives there with his Japanese wife in Tokyo. And yes, this is 2015. This is November in 2015. This is Meiji Shrine, and it was Shichigo-han, the 357 celebration for girls and boys. So they're all done up in their best gear. And also Meiji Shrine, quite a lot of people have traditional Japanese weddings there. And I was fortunate enough on my first visit to catch one. So I was like ticking all the boxes on my first visit. Well, not all of them. I've still got lots of boxes to tick. Yeah, I'm hoping to go back if everything's works out all right. That's Robert knows her too. That's my friend Chuck the Magpie, and I was able to meet up with her for the first time. She'd been on a previous show and become friends with me and Robert through that, and then I met up with her in a club in Shibuya after she'd done her singing performance. So if you're watching, Charlie, hello. Yeah, she's now kind of stuck in Tokyo. She was supposed to go back to Hong Kong to do her courses, but there was all the protests in Hong Kong which stopped her going back, and now the coronavirus has stopped her going back, and now she's stuck with the coronavirus in Tokyo too. So she's keeping herself busy recording more material. Yes, 2015. This definitely, yes, it's the last day while I was waiting for my flight. Thought I'd take a quick shot of the terminal building, Terminal 1. Sounds a bit more liquid refreshment, as it were. Yes, you can tell it was a slideshow. I made this slideshow for when I was doing my Japanese class, and it was the end of year party sort of thing, and this was projected on a screen at the back while everybody drank and had sushi and stuff. Oh dear, I'm just looking at the weather outside. It's horrendous. Yes, so this is 2016. I decided to go back again, and this is a viewing in Higashiyama in Kyoto. Stayed at a nice hostel there. And yes, yes, spot the Englishman, spot Simon. 3 old dudes as I was. Yeah, that's a rocket from Tintin in the background at Brussels Airport. I lost those sunglasses, rather cool sunglasses that I'd bought for about 50 cents at a second-hand shop, but I lost them in Japan at a wayside station on the road when I was in Shizuoka with the Mullies. Trying to work out what's that emoji. You know, I can see the happy clapping hands. I can see the camera. Well, what's the other one? Can't quite make out what that it is. Random mountain somewhere in Japan under the airplane. And this is Hikawa Shrine in Akasaka. And I stayed at a hostel in Akasaka in 2016. Rather nice hostel called Kaisu. And about 5-10 minute walk up the hill from the hostel was this shrine, which is quite famous apparently in Tokyo, and is beloved of the local residents. And I watched an NHK program about the priest there who reinvigorated the shrine. And randomly, we jumped to the Tokyo Edo Museum in Ueno Park with a view of a model of Nihonbashi in the Edo period. It's a rather nice, large model. I could recommend that. Top hat. Ah, yes. From the old days. It's in a corner over there. And there we have our good old friend, Keisan Death, who is still active recording and on YouTube, but now almost exclusively Japanese. Well, exclusively in Japanese. So, but yeah, I met up with her and we had a day wandering around museums in Ueno. And that's the rather nice interior of Tokyo Station. The restored cupola from the inside. For a long time, that had been demolished, and it was a flat roof, and they reconstructed it. I think about 2014 or something, 2012 to 2014. They refurbished and reconstructed the station. There you can see it. Yeah, that's a view from the Marunouchi building. All that construction work there is now finished, and it's a rather nice esplanade up there. but it's still as confusing as anything. Trying to get out of there, or trying to find your way to the correct platform. Ah, yes, and the Imperial Palace, one of the watchtowers. So when you must have been there in 2015, 2016 as well, then, Vids. Imperial Palace is always a good place to go. You can only get into the gardens, but there you are in the city of 32 million people, and it's all nice and quiet in the gardens. This is the hostel Kaisu in Akasaka, and as you can see, you have to take your shoes off when you go into the hostel. Mine are prominently in the middle there. They're sort of white and blue lace-up pumps. Yeah, the basements. I had to ask a member of staff, how do we get, in broken English and broken Japanese, to try and find out how to get to my platform on time. And that's a rather nice seating area in the hostel. I can recommend it. This one in Akasaka, very quiet street, quite nice neighborhood, quite modern. It was a refurbished building from only opened in 2014, so it's still quite good. Can't remember. Wait a minute. Yes, that's kaiseki meal I had. I was supposed to meet up with Nandemo Guy and his cousins who all often come to Japan to meet Nandemo Guy's relatives who live there. And he said, "Yeah, we'll meet up." And so met up. The idea was to meet up at that restaurant where the shamisen players are at. And I thought it was 2,500 yen for lunch, not realizing that in the evenings it was dinner, which was 9,000 yen, which is about $100 per person. And I was grateful that my friend Nanda Magai missed his flight. That's the shamisen girls again. They play there regularly. The owner is a shamisen player, and they sometimes go there and not only play for the customers, but they also wait on tables. So I was waited on by them, and then they sat down and played a song for me, which was rather nice. Mount Fuji. Have to have a shot of Mount Fuji. Probably on the way to Shizuoka, because that's where you see it. That's more or less where it is and where you can see it clearest. From the train, anyway. It was a bit of a grey day. You just see it, the top poking out from behind another hill. And, it was on the way to Nagoya. That's right, because this is central Nagoya again, and I think that near that Ferris wheel, the building just before it is Don Quixote. It's great for underpants and all kinds of things. And again, me with my shirt not tucked in because it was quite warm. And this was in the Tokugawa Museum in Nagoya. I can recommend that. Lovely gardens and an interesting museum. But I met up there with Mikey Chin and her husband and Tomoko Des. Renting a car, yeah, I may be tempted to do that actually when I go back next time. Then that way I can explore the countryside a bit more. There's Tomoko Des. It's not too far from where she lives actually. She arrived by bike. And I can't remember the name of this shrine. It's near Nagoya, and it's the second most important Shinto shrine outside of Ise. and I've forgotten the name of it. And only if you're there for some particular ceremony. There was some telephone workers were having some kind of blessing or other, and you were allowed to go beyond that gate there. But around the complex, there's lots of little mini shrines and things to go and see. Again, I think on the way to Yamaguchi, rice fields and wooded hills, you can transpose that to sort of almost the entire Japanese countryside looks like that near the coast anyway. Hang on, no, we've jumped back to Kyoto. This is a screen, a painted screen in Shoren Inn, Buddhist temple, not far from the hostel I stayed at in Kyoto. It's not very. There's not a lot of tourists there in that particular temple, which is nice. You can go around and quite peacefully. That's the garden at Shoren Inn. They have a nice sort of lit up garden in, I think, early winter. I've always missed it. Lots of coloured lights and stuff. That's a sort of a map or a plan outside the temple showing all the various buildings in the complex. I've been round inside. It's quite nice. And obviously through the garden. It's very relaxing. This goes on for a while. I mean, do tell me if you've nodded off. Because there we are, Kyoto. Typical street in Kyoto in the Higashiyama district. Typical streets in the centre of the district just look like everywhere else, more or less, apart from Gion and Pontacho. But with the side streets, I've walked around all the sorts of back streets and people's regular streets in Kyoto, and they just look like normal streets. But in the historical part, obviously, you've got these. This is what you imagine Japanese streets to look like. And they do. And this is Ninenzaka or Sanenzaka on the way to Kiyomizudera Temple. So, in one sense, it's very traditional, but also quite touristy. But now, unfortunately, obviously, it's quite deserted because the bulk of the tourists are Chinese and they're not coming or not allowed anymore. So now will be the time to go if you want a nice, peaceful wander around Kyoto. I think I got there about 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's when there's Kiyomizudera. It's famous for its like gallery overlooking the trees. You're still enjoying the slideshow. Good, that's good. I may end with that music that I started with, if I can figure out how to get it going. Did anybody hear the music at the start when it said starting soon? I had that sort of smooth jazz playing. Yes, I met another YouTuber, Yoko Shibata, and Naoki Todo of the Hanafubuki channel. Said, "I'm coming to Kyoto. Can we meet up?" And she said yes. So I did. And we went round the Imperial Palace Gardens in Kyoto. And Sanjen Sanjugo, or something like that. There's literally 1,000 golden Buddha statues in that hall. I think I did put that in a video at one point. It does rain in Japan. This is a rainy day in Yamaguchi with my friend from there. We're on the way to see Akiyoshido, which are the largest underground cave system in Japan, which it happens to be in Yamaguchi. Also worth a visit. But you can only really get to it by car. And we stopped at an all-you-can-eat a tabihodai restaurant. Although I didn't eat that much, I seem to remember. I was quite full after about one plate, even though I'd paid to just keep refilling my plate. And this is the entrance to the Akiyoshido cave system. It's quite spectacular, a huge split in the rocks with a river pouring out. But the actual town where this is all popular, you can see that it was very popular in the 60s and 70s, and up to about the bubble era, and then it kind of sort of tailed off, so it all looks a bit sort of run down, the town. This is inside. This is a rather spectacular terrace of I can't remember what they're called specifically. Stalagmites. There's like stalactites and stalagmites and towers of this, that, and the other inside there. It's very good. Recommend it. And this is what it looks like on the top, because it's a limestone plateau with these like limestone sinkholes. It's very sort of typical for that kind of geology. It was a very foggy day, I seem to remember. And this is another place we visited after the caves. We went to a place called Benten Beppu Ike, which is Ike is a pond, and Benten is the Buddhist female Buddha of compassion or something like that, and Beppu is the place. So it's supposed to have healing waters. You're not allowed to go into it, and you're not allowed to drink water directly from it, but there is water on tap from the source, so you can fill up water bottles. And this is back again in Yamaguchi, not far from where my friend lives. It's the Mori clan house, and it's their garden in the grounds of the Mori clan, who were a powerful clan in the Meiji period and helped with the Meiji restoration. And randomly, we jumped to Omotesando and a Harajuku girl in Omotesando. Omotesando is the posh bit, and Harajuku is the sort of like the youth area of which sort of the two areas are sort of interlinked. So occasionally, Harajuku girls wander randomly into Omotesando, but generally not the other way around. Omotesando girls generally don't find themselves in Harajuku. This is the art museum in Tokyo. I think I went into the gift shop, and that's about it in there. But it's quite a spectacular building. I may wind this up soon, because it's just going on. And next week, it could be the same, unless Jess from Sushi manages to join us, or Bernie from Singapore, one of the two. This is a street restaurant in Akasaka. That was a night out with Victor, Frame of Travel, and Bushido Devil Dog, and wandering around Akasaka. Yes, and also Mikey Chen's husband, and we went to a bar that he knew or that we saw in Akasaka, and got very large sakes again. Hi, Ellen. Have you come in towards the end? I'm afraid. You might have to go back. And I apologize for the start of the show. My my connections on my microphone were not brilliant, as the other viewers will attest. And so it's quite crackly and not good to listen to. But it's all been fixed. And this is the obligatory Akihabara shot with all the otaku stuff in the glass cases. Otaku. I called it otaku. It's maybe otaku. No worries, Ellen. And also in Akihabara, I think there with Mikey Chen's husband, and I said I quite fancied okonomiyaki, so we went to a restaurant in Akihabara and had some rather delicious okonomiyaki. I think that was the second time I've been to Akihabara. That was the first time I went, and the second time I was looking for a figurine from Yu-Gi-Oh for my son. This is Rikiguen, Rikugu, something. It's a garden, an old daimyo garden in the northwest of Tokyo. It's well worth a visit. Stations are sort of the viewing points from around the garden are based on the classic Chinese poetry, and there's a rather nice tea room on an island in the middle. I like matcha. You can't really get it here. Not like that. You can get green tea, and you can get things with matcha in it, but not traditional. There's a little girl looking at a rather nice fountain at one entrance to the Imperial Palace Gardens. I should have some music going in the background. I'm going to try that. I'm going to see if I can get that jazz playing again, unless it's too loud. It seems to be playing. Is it playing? Right. I can't hear anything. Maybe if I turn up my... No, still can't hear anything. Maybe it's not playing. Seems to be playing, but I can't hear it. No. No, never mind. This is a street market in Kodenmacho in Nihonbashi, and it's the first one of its kind. It was a traditional crafts and shops in the area, and yours truly had a go. See, look, I dressed like the locals. The chap behind me wearing almost the identical outfit. I specifically check what to wear in Japan, not to blend in. There's me playing a traditional Japanese game with these kids. It's Manicam, Robert, and you can have input, or you can have sort of the source, which is the feedback source, which is the computer. And my friend in Nihonbashi, she'd taken me to this street market because a friend of hers had organised it, and then it was time for me to go. And on the way back, she escorted me to the station and we popped into the Mitsukoshi department store in Nihonbashi to look at this rather spectacular statue in there. And that's my friend from Nihonbashi. She dropped me off at the station. System sound, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Oh, I know why. Because I've switched the on StreamYard. I've switched the audio to just to this mic instead of for the Manicam virtual microphone. That's why you can't hear it. And then after meeting up with my friend in Nihonbashi and getting on the train, met up again with the actress at the Imperial Hotel in Hibiya. And she was there with a theatre director who was trying to sort of get a play together with her and a former colleague of hers from the Shogun thing, but nothing came of it, unfortunately. And that's the rainy day that I left Japan in 2016. And I will actually wind it up there. If I get a playlist and pause, because it just goes on for another 2 years. I don't want to bore you to tears. I'm sorry, Ellen. This could go on. I'll bring my phone when we meet up, and we can go, when we have lunch. I can show you all the photos, and so on. But for now, I will switch back to here. Oh, and with the magic of StreamYard green screen, I will appear in my living room again. There we are. Yeah, you'll have to watch sort of go back and watch the bit of the replay to see 2015 and 2016, but 2017 and 2018 are also come along, and that's only a fraction of the photos I took. I made a selection for a slideshow for my Japanese class a couple of years ago. But yes, I've had a cozy time, and I hope you haven't all fallen asleep, and I hope you enjoyed my voice now that it works and doesn't sound like I'm a robot. But I should be going to pick up my son soon, and then spending the remainder of the day figuring out how to make a card for my eldest son's birthday and my parents' wedding anniversary, because they're here in a couple of weeks and their wedding anniversary is then, so I've got to make a card for that. But you didn't hear too many trucks. No, it's supposed to be this side of the mic is supposed to be dead to sound coming from that way, and I've got this cloth screen behind me which stops sound reflecting off, and I've got a blanket precariously pinned above me to stop sound bouncing, and my mattress, my duvet against my wardrobe here, and a carpet that I've pulled into the room, all to try and deaden the sound a bit. So it seems to have worked. That's good. But glad you all enjoyed hanging out with me, and for those watching after the event, I hope you didn't nod off. Thank you for watching, and Hikari Planet, if you're watching, hello, and Lumiere Soleil, if you're watching, hello, and Kamituki, if you're watching, hello, and anybody else, Keiko from Nagoya, hello, and see you all next week, hopefully, and thank you for keeping me company. All right, I'm going to press this button, and it's all going to go dark. Bye, everybody. See you next week with hopefully a guest. We shall see. Bye for now.